Okay, we are back inside the Apollo. Time to finish up these floor pans. I have the spray foam insulation here. We still have a few holes that, just some tiny ones. Well, they're not really tiny. They're medium-sized holes. We got the main floor patches in, but there's a couple spots that may get a little road debris, a little moisture, and a little exhaust fumes in. So we're going to go ahead and patch those up real quick. Again, the wrong way. So again, disclaimer, don't do this. This is not the right way. This is 100% absolutely the wrong way to do any body repair on any vehicle for any reason. Now let's do this. So I'm going to take the spray foam. We got a big hole right here, as you can see. We don't want it all to fall out, so I'm going to take this little plastic bag and just sort of put it right here so that it doesn't get away. Boom. Boom. What this does is it seals up your little hole there on a temporary basis. Ooh. More importantly, what it does, the spray foam, it collects moisture and it holds it in the little air pockets against the metal, and then it causes even more rust. And that's why I say don't do this. This is just awful, and no one should do this ever. But it is kind of satisfying. There she goes. A little bit there. A bunch there. Some there. Get it all in there. There it is in all its goodness. I'll come back here with a razor blade and cut that down a bit because it is a big old mess, but it really foams up once you spray it in there. So that's all the holes. Well, it's probably not all the holes, but that's a lot of the holes all patched up so we can keep some of the elements out for this one trip. Man, this is just awful. Don't do this. Now, while the spray foam insulation sets up, I'm going to install this ignition lock. This starts with a screwdriver currently, and with the history of Hot Rod Power Tour losing a few vehicles every now and then, it's probably best to at least have a key switch in this car. If somebody's going to take your car, this isn't going to stop them, but shouldn't make it that easy on them. So pulling off the steering wheel is relatively straightforward. I'm just taking off the horn here, and you just need a couple specialty tools. This is a steering wheel puller, and this is a compressor. There's a spring inside that you have to take a C-clamp off. But I'm just going to go ahead and pull this apart here. I'm not really going to video it. I'm not sure if anybody's really interested in seeing how to change an ignition switch in depth or not, but if that's something you're interested in, just leave me a comment down below, and maybe on the next one we can do that. But A lot of people already know how to do it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't, but there's a lot of videos online, so I don't know whether to make one or not. But if you want to see one, just leave a comment. Easy. This is where the other tool goes. This is just a compression tool. You just turn this little wing nut. It screws onto the shaft there. And there's a little C-clip right here. You have to pop that off and all this comes out. Take this out. Then you have access to pull that out. Slip everything back in and you're done. It's not hard. So I just pulled the tumbler out, and it was a little bit more difficult to get this one out than previous ones. It has a little pin switch that you have to hit with a screwdriver through the steering column, but this is pretty much what it looks like when it's all taken apart. This little slot right here, you have to slide a screwdriver through there, and the problem was the pin wasn't visible, so I had to make a little more of an incision over there. But this is a new key switch. This is where it goes. You just simply slide the new one in there after you compress it and all that other good stuff. And yeah, that's why I didn't make a video, because I can't do it with just one hand. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and I'll show you after I'm done. Okay, it's all back together. Mistakes were made. Not as easy as I said, but it works. And sometimes the key comes out like it's supposed to. There you go. Now, at least we have an ignition switch that works. On to the next thing. Now that the ignition system is all put together, it's time to trim up on the old spray foam here. I got my little razor blade, so we're just gonna cut on it and just trim it down a little bit. I should have got a bigger razor blade or something, because this is thick. You just need to use a little bit of this stuff. Actually, you don't need to use it at all, ever. But you know you're going to. Some of you. So I'm just going to trim out some big pieces here. Smooth it out. Then we'll put down some sound deadening. I got another shortcut trip on the sound deadening and the insulation that I want you to see. So let me trim this out real quick, and then we'll get to the cheap Duramat stuff that I bought from the hardware store. Okay, so next thing, I just vacuumed it out. I'm gonna go ahead and spray paint the pans and over the rest of the rust that might be a little bit loose. So that spray paint will hold everything together and maybe give this a better chance of sticking. This is what I was talking about. This is what I'm going to use instead of Duramat. It is just called Peel and Seal aluminum. So on one side it has some aluminum coating, and the other side is some sort of sticky tar type stuff, just like Dynamat. I'm just going to lay it down, and it's a little bit smaller than Dynamat, so we can cut these pieces and lay them where we need to. The surface is still really uneven with a little bolt sticking up, so we're just gonna peel around all that good stuff. And then after we do all this, I have a little bit of that Flex Seal stuff. We'll spray that over the rest of it, and we should have a pretty watertight seal after that. Good enough. Well, I just got done painting the inside of floorboards, and now we're going to add a little bit of this aluminum Flex Seal junk stuff to the floor pans. That'll give it a little bit more seal and hopefully keep some of the heat out. So this is what I'm talking about. It's really reflective on this side, and then it has a backing on this side that you can just peel off. Yep, there it goes. And it's got the black sticky mat on the back side. So I'm going to cut a few of these sheets out and just lay them across, seal up a few of these seams, lay it down across the metal that I patched in, and then we're going to put some more stuff on top of that. This is going to be sealed up really good. So let's get that done. I'm just going to precisely measure out a few of these guys and cut them to fit right about there. Just peel the back. Stick her down. Take the wires out of the way. And there's the first piece. Lays in there nice and smooth and contours to whatever you need it to. It's quick, it's easy, and it's cheap. Well, I got the carburetor hooked back up. I need to get a fuel filter in there, but I'm going to prime this up, make sure everything's okay, make sure we don't have any leaks there. The door, the key buzzer now works after I changed the ignition lock, so that's annoying. Yeah, let's see if she starts up now. I just sprayed a little bit in there. I didn't fill the bowls, so it's going to take a minute. Or not. Seems to be idling a bit high. Seems to be a little bit of a miss right there, so you might have to change out those spark plug wires, maybe set the timing. It doesn't have a cam in it, but it seems a little low beat, so I think we just have a miss. Well, at least it looks good. Well, I'm going to check for some vacuum leaks, see if I can't adjust that idle down a little bit. Not bad. Okay, it's another day here working on the old Apollo. So I put the Holley carburetor on yesterday. I fired it up. It was running rich and it was high idling. And the idle screw was all the way down, and it didn't do any good. So usually when you get a Holley carburetor, at least a new one, you take it out, you pop it on, and boom, it's usually set up pretty good. But this is a remanufactured one, so that means it was sent back from a customer who had some issues with it, and they go through and fix whatever's wrong with it if there's anything wrong with it. A lot of times somebody just adjusted it wrong, but I believe that's what happened in this case. Somebody adjusted it wrong, they sent it back, something got overlooked, they cleaned it up, repackaged it, and sent it back out. So here's what I found. See if you can see in here. Right here, that long slot, that's a transfer slot. It should not be anywhere close to that long. That should just be a square showing, and as you can see, that's a very, very long slot. And if I turn this around, maybe you can see that. You can actually see that the blades are cracked open just a hair on that. So that is way out of adjustment. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to come in here and adjust this. I forgot the name of the screw, but it adjusts the transfer slot. So I can't remember the name of it. If you know the name, just put it down in the comments because I forgot. I'm just gonna call it the transfer slot screw, or the butterfly, a valve adjust screw. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, I gotta adjust this screw, fix these transfer slots, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so I got it all adjusted there, and I hope you can see that right there. It's a nice little square now. I had to adjust this idle mixture, not idle mixture screw, but one that controls this. I still can't remember what the name of it is. I could look it up, but I'm lazy. I had to adjust it out about 10 turns. There's a whole thing on Thunderhead 289. He explains it a whole lot better than I can, and that's pretty much where I got all my information from. So if you're having issues with high idle and running rich on your carburetor, just go Thunderhead 289, type in carburetor adjustments, and you'll see how to set these up properly. I'm going to get this back on and see if it works. Carburetor installed, set up, and let's see if it fires up now and how well it runs. How well it doesn't run. Ooh. That started right up. So there seems to be some sort of issue with this choke. I don't know if it was not set up right, or if I'm not adjusting something properly in the choke, but every time I try to set the choke in the mid-range position where it should work just fine, it opens up the transfer slot too far. So what I did is I just eliminated the choke. I set it all the way forward so the choke is always open, like on a vehicle that doesn't have a choke. And then I'm able to set the transfer slot to a good idle. So that seems to work. Fire it up one more time and double check it. It's idling about where I want it to. I think I'm going to adjust the idle fuel mixture just a little bit. It's pretty smooth, but maybe I can make it a hair better, if it gets a hair better. Oops, that was too much. See, at least now the idle mixture screws are working. Before, I tried to adjust them and they were doing absolutely nothing because that transfer slot was open way too far. So if that's open too far, idle mixture screws will do absolutely nothing. That's another hint. You got something going on. That's pretty smooth. Just revs up real smooth without any hesitation. That's pretty good. One more little thing I did. I eliminated the screwdriver opening and actually put in trunk lock. Now all the stuff that I put in here that doesn't fall through the holes will be secure in the trunk.